Yeah, I actually have the date right. What do you know? All right. Let's wait for a computer here and see if we can see a screen, see if you guys can hear me. And we will tick along. Okay, here comes an ad. So we will wait for that to disappear. Skip. All right, Jacob says 5x5. I saw that one. Finley, now they're starting to fly. All right, I see Johnny Finance, Last Boy Scouts, Robert, Texas Raider. Okay, whole bunch of you guys. Happy Tuesday, guys. All right, so fun stuff here. Yeah, if you noticed this morning's video and what I was talking about there, it's kind of interesting. Notice how we're starting to hear other things now, too. All this story about this dog flu that's going out. I mean, please understand, folks, this is all to get you scared. That is exactly what they're trying to do. Oh my God, I can't take my dog to the dog park. Oh my God, I can't go to the bank. Oh my God, I can't spend any time with my neighbors, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then when they say, okay, you got to stay home until the election and we'll do vote by mail again, you go, oh, thank God, I feel better. Yeah, that's the crap that's going on. So, the more we spread that word and let everybody know that we're on to their scams, the sooner we put an end to all of that. So, and if you caught the fun news today, it looks like there's a good chance that Trump's trial in New York is going to kind of get thrown out completely because Deutsche Bank came in and said they were the ones that loaned him all the money that New York's suing about. Nope, we didn't have any problems with it. We reevaluate. We take a look at what people say their net worth is, and then we do it on our own. And yep, everything was good. Guess there was no crime then, huh? So we'll see what happens. I'm just waiting for Letitia James. About 14 months from now, Trump will be being inaugurated, and Letitia James will be the disbarred attorney on her book tour. And maybe trying to get her spot on CNN to spend the next 4 years bitching about all the good things that Trump does. Oh my God, we don't have any wars, and inflation's coming down, and gas prices are below $2. What can we do? Yeah, that'll be CNN for the next 4 years here soon. All right, that was it. Just want to get that off my chest real quick. It's just, All right. So you guys know we have another 2 generators to give away this evening. We'll start those right at the top here. We'll go into that quickly so we don't take too much Q&A time away. Again, we are going to give away 2 separate Delta 2s tonight. Again, thanks to Elliot from Wellbots for their generosity. If you guys were looking yesterday and you saw all their deals, cool, because prices are back up again. So chance to get it while you can. But we're going to give away 2 of them tonight. So here's what happens. And I did slightly screw up, and I'm not going to punish you all for it. But when I told what the rules are, I said you must live in the United States, which is true. But I did not say you had to leave the state in your comment. Okay, so if somebody just puts in their comment their favorite type of weapon for this drawing, that's acceptable, okay? Because you're following rules and I screwed. If you've got the state in there, that's fine, doesn't matter. But if you don't, it doesn't disqualify you because I didn't specifically say that yesterday. So just make that one clear. So now, when we draw the name, the person whose name I draw will have 3 minutes to say they are here in the comments, like always, okay? The other thing is, guys, and again, the moderators stick to this. If you make a comment after I say and after the mods put up, do not make any more comments, you are in a 5-minute timeout, which means you pretty much eliminated your chance of winning either one of them. So do me a favor, do everybody else a favor. Don't say anything after we say not to. It's to make my life a little easier. I mean, there's 2,400 of you in here, and I'm the only one that's got to look through these things. So, all right, so let me get this over here. We're going to get right into this. So, flip the camera. And there we go. Okay, random comment picker. And we have the yesterday's video right there. And we do not include replies. You guys always know it's primary comments only. We do not allow any duplicates. Everybody gets one entry. So let's put it on here and see how many entries we have this time. Tick on along. Hopefully they've got this thing going so it's a little bit faster. No, Terry, you can't enter via the live stream. At this point, entries are closed. The only entry is if you were watching yesterday's video and entered there. Anything you guys put in here does not matter. I do not pick the comment. Pick the winner from the comments in the live chat here. It was you had a comment on yesterday's video. So all right, what are we at? 2,200 and something here. And there we go. 2,445 comments on this one. All right. At this point, do not make any more comments in the chat unless you are the winner. Okay, and I will wait a little bit here for the 15-second delay. When I say there's Lucky Dame's comment, hold all comments. Jacob's saying it. Okay, you guys have been notified. Anybody making a comment after now, you're in a 300-second timeout. Okay, and Marsense, you can get tossed completely. We don't promote other channels in the chat room without my approval, so we can change that from a 300-second timeout to an outright ban. All right, let's move on here and pick our winner. Toy Painter, Northwest Indiana, checking in. Thanks to you and Elliot for these chances to win quality gear. My favorite boomstick is my SIG M400 Snakebite. That is a valid entry. So, Toy Painter 1, are you here? And Toy Painter 1 is here. All right. Toy Painter 1 is our first winner. Let me flip this over here because I was trying to take care of that other problem. Toy Painter 1, I will need you to email me tonight your name, address, physical address, and phone number. I will get that sent over to Elliot in the morning so they can get this shipped out to you. But congratulations, you are the winner of our first Delta 2. Okay, let's go back. And we will do this again. Again, no comments unless you're the winner, guys. It's a 500-second timeout. Stop the congratulations, guys. Stop. If you're not the winner, nobody should be commenting right now. All right. Here we go. And our second winner is Surfer Life 92. Thank you for everything, Pinball Mrs. P and Elliot. SIG 9 is the favorite in South Carolina. That is a valid entry. So Surfer Life 92, you are our next. Did I flip that over? Did you guys see it, Surfer Life 92? I'm hoping. Okay, let me do this again, unless I forgot to flip the camera, which I might have. Okay, there was the pick, Surfer Life 92. Sorry about that. That was my error on that one. I looked at the camera and all of a sudden it was still my face. So, Surfer Life 92, you have until 8/12 to say you are here. And I'm just going to make sure that they didn't before. Okay, AJ and Lee, you guys can get 500-second timeouts. Surfer Life 92, looking for you. Don't go anywhere, guys, because if Surfer Life is not here, we will draw a different name. And that's why I say don't make the comments, because if Surfer Life isn't here, you've just eliminated yourself from consideration for the next part, too. Surfer Life 92, where are you? We always got to wait this part just in case somebody had to run to the bathroom or waiting on the other one. But we've had this happen quite a bit lately where people enter and then don't show up. And I've said many times I feel so bad for them. Oh my God, I forgot. And they go watch the replay. It's like, crap, that was my name, you know. Sunshiny days, goodbye. You're in 500-second timeout. Do 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 do. All right. Well, we are at 8:10 and still ticking along, so we're probably a minute and a half. Doesn't matter if names are different. If you're the name that was drawn is the name you entered at. Therefore, that is the only name that you can collect the prize on. Otherwise, anybody can say they're Surfer Life. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. Okay. So, yep, like Jacob just said, names must match. Period. End of story. The end. Don't care. Oh, I can't comment under that name tonight. That's not my problem. Okay. I'm not trying to be a hard ass, but there's way too many scammers on YouTube. It's the reason I put the other question in there, that there is way too many people that try to come through and just enter contests, never pay attention. I want these prizes to go to preppers, not to freeloaders. So if you get less than a minute for Surfer Life 92, and then we will draw a name. Do 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 do. Waiting along. You know, I understand people have more than one name. I do, Pinball Preparedness and Pinball Prepping. But if I'm going to enter a contest under Pinball Preparedness, that's the one I'm going to be logged in under. Okay, and that is it. All right, Surfer Life 92, sorry, but it must be present to win. So we will go again. This time I will remember to flip the camera over. Okay, and there we go. So we will get out of this and try again. And the next potential winner is, I'm going to take a guess. This is Major S, retired, 9548. My favorite firearm is a Sig Sauer P365. That would be a valid entry. Like I said, it did not have to have the state because I screwed that part out. So Major S Ret, retired, 9548. It is 8:12. You have until 8:15. So looking for Major S Ret, or Maj S Ret. I'm guessing at what the abbreviations are for. You have until 8:15. Otherwise, we're going to do it again. Well, let's flip this back so you guys aren't looking at perpetuity. And there he is. He is here. Okay, good deal. All right. So Major, same thing as you, or Major S, retired. That's my guess. Same thing. Please email me your name, address, and phone number, physical address only, because Wellbat sends everything via FedEx, and they don't deliver to P.O. boxes. Send those to me, both of you, tonight, and I will get those to Elliot, and he'll get that stuff shipped out probably by the end of the week. So congratulations to you both. All right, now that that's done, and I'm done being hard ass, sorry, it's following rules. You know, we're preppers. We're supposed to follow instructions. We're supposed to follow rules. That's the way we go. So, all right, let's get into Q&A, guys, and I will kind of go over this real quick. If you have a question for me, please put it in all caps. It makes it a lot easier for me to go through all the comments. If they're in caps, I can see them and I can skip everything in lowercase. Of course, I encourage everybody to participate in the chat. If you're going to converse between yourselves, please keep it in lowercase. That way I can just bypass those conversations and move along. Okay. When you're asking a question, please make sure to put some context in there. Give me a complete question because I'm jumping from subject to subject to subject. I'm also 15 minutes behind because there's a lot. You guys can type a lot faster, 2,500 of you, than one of me can answer them. So, you know, I may talk about economics and then politics and then gardening, and then you're going to ask an economics question. And I've had 4 other questions since that topic. So please, remind me of what the question is if it's not obvious. That said, the requirement here is you must be polite. You must treat everybody else in here with respect. If you want to be a pain in the ass, you will disappear. Okay, that's, again, not negotiable. I have no tolerance whatsoever for people treating other people or me rudely in here. Uh, we don't ask much around here for people, but have a little bit of decorum is something that I'm going to require. So that will get you tossed permanently. All right, let us get to the top here and get after the congratulations, and I'll find where we are. Okay. Uh, Joseph Cook, gold and silver is shooting up. Yeah, gold is now less than $30 from an all-time high. It closed about 2040 today, and I think the all-time high is from 2020, around 2069, 2070, right there. Uh, like I said this a couple of weeks ago, we're going to see 2,400 to 2,700 gold next year is my guess. So, if a couple of weeks ago when I said jump in, you did, okay, you're probably already made everything the premium you paid back, and you're, above water as is. Again, we're not treating gold and silver as an investment like your 401k. We're treating it as a hedge against, sorry, against inflation, and also as something of value when the dollar's worth nothing anymore. We have a currency, okay, not a fiat currency. Kathy Acevedo said 200 left already. Some leave, some just flip it over to their TV. I know that. I mean, I know there are plenty of people who come into these deals, subscribe, they don't win, and they leave. I know there's people that try to do that. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of ways that I can prevent it, because if you just did the drawings out of who's here on the live stream, anybody can show up to the live stream too. Subscribed yesterday and you're good. So 10-4 man, how do I winterize my garden? Good question, considering it's supposed to be 21 degrees here tonight, and I'm in Tennessee. Okay, so all you guys north of me, you guys are probably going 21. That's warm. It's going to be 2 here tonight. Okay, so winterizing the garden by now should probably be done for most everybody. The best thing that you can do, and I did a video on this a while back, is you should have already had your compost put in. You should have already mixed everything in. You should have put a bed of grass clippings or leaves or something over the top of your bed, especially if you've got perennial vegetables in there, say like asparagus or Jerusalem artichokes or something, to keep them warm over the winter, or not to keep them from dying and freezing. But at this point, unless you're probably Florida, Texas, maybe the desert Southwest, your garden should probably be already winterized and ready. Put to bed, cleaned up, everything's out, all the weeds are pulled, plants are pulled, everything. Your garden is just barren. If you planted your cover crops, if you do cover crops, those should already be in, depending on how people do it. Rural 2IC, what are my thoughts on the cyber attack in the city water company in Pennsylvania? I haven't heard anything about that. The only cyber attack I've heard of today was on a couple of different hospital systems, and their ER systems were down, but I haven't heard anything on city water company in Pennsylvania, so I don't have an answer. Neuron web, I don't know what a SoGen is. Okay, all right, maybe solar generator, maybe. Okay, is out of warranty. Is there anyone that repairs them? I have no idea. Okay, the only thing I can say at that point is call the manufacturer of whatever generator you have, tell them what the issue is, and see where they point you to. Jam 556, where do I get a hat? I'm assuming you mean this one. They are not available. This was sent to me as a promotion thing. Somebody wanted to be my exclusive merch dealer, and I don't do merch, so no, they were never made. Wendy Cosmerl, how often do you take potassium iodide? Is it safe for dogs? you're going to have to read the instructions on the package in which you got, because there's, depending on the dosage that you got, depending on what your weight is, there's a whole lot of variables. You're going to have to just read the instructions on the package that you have to figure out what is going to be appropriate for you, because the dosage for me is going to be different than the dosage for you. So I can't tell you how often or how much. It's going to be different. Matthew Trucking, what is my favorite candy? Mine, if you were talk chocolate, would be Heath bars. If you talk any other candy, it would be specifically Black Forest brand gummy bears. I don't like any of the Haribos or any of the other ones. That's the only brand of them that I like. Penny Obeneyer, have I reviewed any weather or emergency radios? I've got one that I got from Wellbots. It's a good radio. The problem I have is where I am is I need to get a much bigger antenna for it. Just the radial antenna that it's got isn't good enough to pick up anything because I'm surrounded by mountains. So that kind of bounces everything out. So that's, in order to make that work, I've got to come up with a much better antenna. Z Master Wolf, what silver will I barter with? Dimes or quarters, etc. when shit hits the fan? Yes, all of them. Okay, because it all depends on how much you're going to quote unquote pay for something. All right, this is what I've said many times. You want to have junk silver, okay, constitutional silver, old silver dimes, silver quarters, half dollars, dollars, whatever it would be, because you're going to need to make change. If you've got everything you have is 1 ounce silver rounds, okay, well, right now that's about $25. Say you want to buy a loaf of bread and somebody can't make change for you, you're going to pay $25 for a loaf of bread? No, okay. So you have two choices. Either you buy nothing or you go pick through a bunch of junk that you don't want for that silver coin. So you need to have dime, silvers, quarters, because that's going to be your change. I mean, a dime is worth what? About $1.40 worth of silver, somewhere thereabouts. So yeah, you're going to need to have those. On the flip side, let's say you want to buy a horse, okay, and somebody wants the equivalent of $1,000 for a horse. I'm just making up numbers here, guys. Okay. Well, all right, I'd have to give them at today's prices 20 silver rounds. Okay, not terrible. But how many silver dimes am I going to have to take? A whole bunch, all right? And do you want to give up all your silver dimes for a large purchase? So you need to have both. You need, just like anything else, you need to be diversified. Everything from constitutional dimes all the way up to, as far as I want to go, is 1 ounce gold bars. That's it. Maybe you have 10 ounce silver bars or something. I mean, okay, there's $250. A 10 ounce gold bar, it's 20 grand right now. Okay. What are you going to, I mean, unless you're planning on buying a house, you don't need 10 ounce gold bars. On the other side, I'm going to give you one more thing too. Why you want to have both. Let's say, hypothetically, let's say you've got $20,000 worth of gold and silver, okay, whatever it would be. It's a lot easier to walk around with, let's say, 10 ounces of gold than it is with, what would that be, 800 ounces of silver? It's going to be awfully heavy, okay? Now, granted, you want to have a mix, but remember that too, when you're buying your gold and silver, depending on how far you get, there's a limit to how much silver you want, because there's a limit to how much silver you can carry. That's it, okay? It starts getting heavy. Go put 3 or 4 pounds worth of silver in your bug out bag, right? That, every ounce in your bug out bag you're going to feel as you're walking along. All right, I got to get back up here. We shot to the bottom. Dawn Hill, what do I think is happening with these big bank chains closing branches? If you've gone into one lately, I mean, think about yourself. When's the last time you've gone into a bank? Or how many times this year have you? Most people do their banking online or do their banking with an ATM machine or anything like that. And the banks are closing branches because they're paying tellers and paying loan officers or whatever to sit around and do nothing, you know. And I mean, I know if you got time to lean, you got time to clean, right? Okay. You walk into the bank's spotless because everybody in there has got nothing to do all day. So I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the banks are trying to cut cost anywhere because they're holding on to all this paper that's at a loss right now. All those treasuries that they bought at 1% and 2% are underwater right now. If they've got to liquidate them, they're screwed. So they're trying to shore up their balance sheets by reducing headcount. And again, what have I said? The two biggest things for any business in regards to expense are your brick and mortar and your employees. Well, for banks, close a branch, that gets rid of both of them. Okay. How's my pond doing? Are the fish still living? Yeah, the fish are still there. Unfortunately, the drought hasn't got the pond empty. There's still probably about 4 feet of water in one end of it, so they're still good there. But yeah, I mean, it's cold, and Mrs. P goes out and feeds the fish. You know, we're trying to keep the fish going, feeding them, you know, so they can build up enough size to survive the winter and everything like that, too. Stubborn forever. Best way to pay off your house without getting into your retirement. Cut all the extraneous expenses. Okay. You know, when you finally sit down and say, okay, by hook or by crook, I'm doing this, honey, we're not going to dinner. We're eating grocery store brand macaroni and cheese instead of Kraft macaroni and cheese. You know, we're no longer stopping at Starbucks. The brunch out after church on Sundays is out the window, and you start going, okay, and that's an extra $20, and that's an extra $4, and that's this, you know, blah 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 blah. Whatever you do, okay, that's how you do it. You set your mind to it. You go, I'm going to do this. That is it, and you cut out everything that is any sort of frivolous purchase, and you just keep pounding it on the mortgage. You'd be amazed how fast you start knocking it down. Highlands Husky, are patches still available? Yep, I've still got, probably 70 or 80 of them here. So I've got another 4 or 5 envelopes that have to go out in tomorrow's mail. So those will go out tomorrow. But yep, I've still got some. Dan Rose, Mr. Pinball, did I hear about Tyson Foods buying a bug factory? I saw something briefly about that 3 or 4 days ago. I really didn't look too much into it. I saw a headline, that was about it. But, you know, as long as they have to label the food correctly is what's in there, yeah. It says in there cricket meal, forget it. I'm not buying it. You know, I'll make sure I take that package out of the grocery store shelf, put it in my cart, walk 2 lanes over, and sit it out with the donuts or something like that, let it spoil before one of the employees says, oh my God, this is supposed to be in the refrigerator section. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I help somebody by taking one package off of the out of circulation? Yup. I'm saying that jokingly, but I mean, that's pretty much how I feel about it. Randy Rosander, do I still have patches? Yes. Stephanie Fallon, don't have the pinball hat, is not for sale. Let's see. Redbird Acres, have I talked about Ireland? It's not a big surprise. Okay. I mean, we all called this 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 10 years ago. Okay. With Europe taking in all these illegals. And, you know, the bullshit about this Algerian guy who stabbed a couple of kids in Ireland is set the country ablaze. I mean, they've got riots going on. But I mean, you're starting to look at all the countries in Europe, or who is it? Was it Denmark or Netherlands or whatever it was? I can't remember which one it was. Who just elected their new president? And he's like, nope, we're getting rid of all the mosques. They're gone, done. Sorry, no, you know, we don't. And I mean, this is what he's saying. And it's like, yeah, sorry, you want. We're not a Muslim country. Done. That was what he was saying. You want to be a Muslim country? Go back to where you were. You're not bringing that crap here. And you know, sure, different rules for different countries, but yeah, no, you don't come into somebody else's country or somebody else's city or somebody else's state and say, we're going to change the way you do things. I mean, it's funny when we get people around here moving from, Chicago or New York or Boston and trying to complain about the way people in Tennessee do things. Now, remember, I'm not from Tennessee. I didn't move down here trying to change the way they do things. I moved down here to participate in the way they do things. But you get some of these liberal elites who come down here and they're like, no, you need to do this. And I've heard a story, I don't remember who told me here recently, but it was like, we're going to call the cops. It's like, good. Tell my brother I said hi. This is it. I mean, the people down here have been down here for generations. You live in Sweden, you're Swedish, your family's been there for generations. Guess what? That's it. They want to keep it that way. So yeah, I mean, like Conor McGregor coming out and raising hell on the one politician, up there. Good. It's about time the people around the world stand up to this idiocy and go, no, we don't want illegal immigration. We don't want our countries taken over, and we're not changing for anybody. All right. On that note, we will take a timeout. And we are going to go into the 9 live streams of Christmas. So, if you guys remember what this is, Mrs. P and I have Christmas presents for 9 of you, whoever can answer trivia questions about us. We gave away our first prize to Yarn Prepper on Saturday night. So Yarn Prepper is not eligible to win anymore, but the rest of the people are. And Yarn Prepper, I think I looked, I think your Big Buddy heaters are supposed to be delivered tomorrow. So you should be all set there. So this is what happens. I will ask you a trivia question here that is about me that I have mentioned in a video or mentioned the answer in a video or a live stream since Labor Day. Okay. So no, you didn't have to be a subscriber 3 years ago or whatever, but within the last couple of months, you've had to pay attention to videos. Okay. Everybody who's here can win. All right. The first person I see in the live stream, in the comment section, that answers correctly wins. Okay. And I'm putting in the IC part because, again, there's still 2,000 of you here. There's one of me. The moderators don't know the questions. Chances are the moderators probably don't know the answers either, or might. So I will read down for them. Whoever answers it correctly first, then we'll get to pick a number from 1 to 9, not including 7, which Yarn Prepper already took, and that will be their prize. So, if you guys are ready, I will give you a few seconds here. I would suggest not making any comments right now, because if you do, you've got 90 seconds till you can make another comment. Guess what? We'll have a winner by then. So let me give you guys. Okay, you guys keep talking. So I guess the ones still making comments don't want to win. That's fine. Okay. So tonight's question, based on what you guys had to do earlier, okay, I prefer 2 manufacturers of pistols. Name them both. And the first one who can name both of them will get to pick a number. Whoop, we already got it. There was Patriot Preacher was the first one to get it. Yep, real quick. CZ and Smith & Wesson, correct. A couple of people said Colt, Smith & Wesson, Glock. Nope, CZ and Smith & Wesson. I've mentioned both of them many, many times. All right, so Patriot Preacher, you are the winner. I guess that question was easier than I thought. All right, so you guys can stop answering. We've already got a winner. Okay, Patriot Preacher, give me a number 1 to 9, not 7. Oh yeah, we gotta wait. He's got to wait for his 90 seconds here till he can comment again. Guys, we already have a winner. Don't need to keep guessing. So, all right, Patriot Preacher. As soon as your 90 seconds are up, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, or 9. Thanks, Robert. Thanks, Lucky Dame. Good ideas for both of you. There we go. Patriot Preacher picked 8. So here is number 8. And in number 8, we have, I don't even know what's in these. Silver. Patriot Preacher, you just won yourself a 10-ounce silver bar. So what I will need you to do is send me your name, address. I don't need your phone number. And I will get this out via UPS to you here in the next day or so, depending on when UPS comes. I think they'll probably be here tomorrow or Thursday. So I will have this out. But congratulations, you just won yourself 10 ounces of silver. All right. Congratulations there. Let us get back into the Q&A, and we're going to, anybody that's asked the question, you're going to have to answer again or you're going to have to ask again, because all the way up on the congrats here is what's going. All right. Rural 2IC. If I could give anything to Mrs. P for Christmas, money, no object, what would it be? I guess the only thing I could think of is I'd give her a trip to Australia, because that was something we said we wanted to do, and a bucket list thing. And then, of course, with Australia going full communist, we've decided we will never set foot on the grounds, because I'm not going to support that whatsoever. So, and it sucks, because I really wanted to see Australia, but yeah, no, until they throw out this entire liberal government and get back to being a free country, I won't go there and support them whatsoever. And she has no desire of going anywhere where socialism is being supported. Okay, hang on. Now we're all over the place again. Let's see. Michael 539 or Michaela 539, one of the two. What is my take on the potato in chief enacting the Defense Production Act for meds and medical equipment and all the overreach associated with that mess? I saw that. I thought that might be a topic for tomorrow morning. I haven't done everything in it yet, but it goes in exactly what I said this morning, or what I said at the top of the video here. They're doing all these little things, okay? Let's scare them about the Chinese virus. Let's scare them about the dog virus. Let's scare them about H1N1. Let's scare them about swine flu. Oh, and then let's tell everybody that we're going to put the Defense Production Act into play for medicine. Do you guys see all this going, okay, we're going to lay all the groundwork, just like I said this morning. So then in February, they go, crap, Biden's losing. Countries closed down, okay? Everybody mail-in voting. This is it. Nobody, put up the plexiglass, get out your mask, social distance, put that tape back on the floor in Walmart. Yeah. That's exactly what this is. And they're trying to bullshit everybody through it, saying, well, we're just trying to straighten out the supply chain. Don't give me that. The supply chain was screwed up 3 years ago, and you didn't do anything to fix it. And by enacting the Defense Production Act, I mean, what, more tyrannical crap? That's a good idea? No, Joe. Sorry, we're on to you. Do. GSD mom. How do I make my own vape juice? There is a website, okay? It is called, and I'll give this to you, the letter E hyphen liquid hyphen recipes.com. And basically it's a whole community, I guess, if you will, of vapors that make their own vape juice or whatever. And you've got all these suppliers that will be in there talking about the discounts they have and whether it's on vegetable glycerin or whether it's on nicotine or on flavors or whatever. And then there's millions of recipes people have come up with in there that you can figure out what you like, clones, everything. But I started doing that. When was it? We still lived in Utah. What about 2015 or 2016? I started making my own, and it's ridiculous. You know, those little bottles that you buy in the store that cost you $20. Okay, cost me about $1 to make one of those. So if you want to know what the markup is in a vape store, yeah, there you go. What costs me $1, they sell you for 20. So. But go look up e-liquid recipes. That will give you everything that you need to know and then some. Member Barry, recommendations on things to look for with raw land. Own a house looking for a homestead. Okay, if you're looking for something like that, and again, I'm not a real estate professional, real estate agent or anything like that, but I look at this as from logical. Try to find some place that is relatively flat. Okay. I mean, depending on how many acres you're going to buy. I mean, if you're going to buy 100 acres, okay, then it's got a relatively flat spot. Okay. But I'm assuming you're talking about a few, maybe 1 to 10 acres. Relatively flat. So you can garden on it, or if you want to have livestock on it. Okay. You know, cows aren't real good climbing up sides of mountains. So that doesn't work. Hopefully find a one that either has a water source on it, like a stream or a pond, or you can relatively easily put one on there, okay? Because you are going to need the water for an SHTF event, sure. But if you've got livestock, you're going to need a pond for your cattle to cool off in or anything like that. So you want to look at something like that. Make sure you know everything about the mineral rights on the property. That's going to be very important. You know, you strike oil, you strike gold on the property, you want to make sure you own it, not somebody else. Know what your restrictions are. I'm not talking about HOA restrictions or something like that. I'm talking about environmental restrictions, city, county restrictions that you have for what you can do with the property and what can be done with the property nearby. You don't want to buy a piece of land and find out that the property that's right next door is completely unrestricted. And oh, you know what? BF Goodrich is going to build a new rubber plant there, and then that's where you're, looking for. So make sure you know what all the zoning laws are. Simple ones. Make sure you know what the taxes are. I'd also advise going around and trying to get a feel for the people. If you're out in the country, there's probably some sort of gathering spot. Usually Saturday and Sunday mornings are a good place to see where people have breakfast. Go in there and meet some of the people around. Those are suggestions I would have. Royal Lioness, I was wondering if you received my donation for the Christmas drive. Honestly, I couldn't tell you. Guys, I kid you not, I've probably got, between Cash App and envelopes, I've probably got 500 plus. I mean, we've raised so far over $13,000 for this. I can't tell you one by one if I got yours or not, okay? everything I've got, I've got. I mean, there was only one check that I tore up because it looked like somebody screwed up and sent me a check that they had already cashed. Because even though the check was made out to cash, they had endorsed it on the back and then sent it to me, and it looked like it had the uh, the bank marks on it. When they put the machine marks that the check's already cleared. So I just tore that one up because I figured, okay, this check it's not legit because they've endorsed it already. I can't re-endorse it. So that's the only one that I haven't. I mean, everything else I've got. So, William, 6'8" and afraid of heights. How is that? Fall down from my height. No, I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, some people are afraid of the number 13. Some people are afraid of spiders. Some people are afraid of flying. I mean, everybody's got some sort of fear. Mine's of heights. It is what it is. Okay. Kathleen Maddox, 401k, good to not participate or stupid for not. Again, that the question's way too general because every 401k is different. I mean, if your company has a dollar for dollar match, yeah, it's stupid to not participate because that's free money you're getting. If the company doesn't match at all, then it's stupid to participate because you've got less options for your retirement money than you would if you got to put it in an IRA or a Roth IRA. So I can't answer just based on that. There's way too many variables depending on the 401k. Pat Martinez, I ordered a Delta 2 and a 220-watt solar panel. Does everything come with it to hook it up? Yeah, literally. It's solar panel, wire, generator, plug it in, you're done. That's it. They're literally plug and play, guys. I mean, now the only way it gets a little bit more difficult is if you're hooking up multiple panels to them, then you've got to know how to, put them in series, put them in parallel, and do that. But if you got one solar panel and one generator, plug, done. Hang on, I gotta find where it was. Billy Pollard, who or what determines the worth of gold and silver when shit hits the fan? Current face value, U.S. Treasury. Again, it's going to be give you this. What's the value of a $1 bill? It really doesn't have a value, okay? It has a hypothetical value in your head that you go to the store and buy this pen has a hypothetical value. And you go, okay, it took me how long to work to get this $1? Did I put that amount let's say your minimum wage, okay, and it took you 12 minutes to make that $1, and they want $1 for this pen, and you go, is my 12 minutes worth of work worth that one pen? Nothing really. The whole dollar value and everything like that's all in your head. Okay, a dollar actually has no value whatsoever. It's a piece of paper. Okay, and backed by gold or backed by it's a means of exchange that is just collectively agreed upon by everybody. That's it. And the basis of capitalism means that the value of this is $1, the value of this is $250, so it takes 250 of these to buy one of these. Well, somebody goes, I don't need 250 pens. So we go, oh, okay, well, give me 250 of those $1 bills and you can buy this, and then I can take 2 of those $1 bills that you bought this from me and buy 2 pens. Okay, that's all it is. It's a means of exchange. The money actually has no value whatsoever. It's what you buy with it that has the value. Dad, please recommend a good site to purchase military surplus. If you find one, let me know. I have never found one. I mean, the only place to find good military surplus is a decent military surplus store. If you live near an Army base or Navy or Air Force or whatever, it's a little easier. The closest one to me is weak, I guess I'll put it that way, for what they've got. Country Girl Prepper, how do you figure the value of junk silver, dimes, quarters? It's 90% silver. Okay, so here's the deal. $1.40 in face value. All right. So 4 quarters and 4 dimes. Take that, $1.40. That combined, those equal 1 troy ounce of silver. So 14 dimes equals 1 troy ounce of silver. 2 half dollars and 4 dimes equals 1. However you want to come up with the $1.40 face value, that's 1 troy ounce of silver. Okay. So now whatever you have there, let's say you have 14 dimes, that's 1 ounce. So in those 14 dimes, basically, a dime has 1/14 of the value of whatever the current spot price is. So $25 divided by 14, that's so it's going to be what, about $1.60 or something like that is how much silver's in a dime. Jim C, how deep is my pond? When it's full, on the deep end it'll be about 7 feet, on the shallow end about 3 feet. 76 Jenna Bay, is it time to cash in bonds? No. Depend. Okay, that's a hard question to answer because I don't know when you bought them. I mean, if you bought them when interest rates were at 3%, you're losing money if you cash in the bond. If you bought the bond when interest rates were up at 7%, okay, maybe you're at break even. I can't answer, but no, I would not be cashing in bonds because right now you've got your ability to make some money, some money with them. If you bought treasuries or CDs or anything that are 5%, and again, I'm using official numbers, guys, so nobody bite my head off, okay? And inflation's at 4, you're actually beating the game right now, okay? So, granted, inflation at 4 means you're buying airplane tickets and renting cars, like I told you before, but I'm just saying. So, but no, I would not be getting out of my fixed income investments. Thunder Chicken Ranch, establishing water and electricity is stupid expensive now. Well, okay, but I'm going to say this. The cost of solar generators has come down by about 1/3 in the last 18 months. I mean, I told you, I was paying $3,400 for my Delta Pros, and you get them now for $2,400. That's $1,000 cheaper than when I bought them. I remember talking to you guys about refurbished Delta 1300s 2.5 years ago for $850. Now you're buying new ones for less than $700. So, establishing your electricity is cheaper than it was before. Sorry, thirsty. Yeah, there you go. Estate Time 85, mineral rights, going back to questions on land, especially now that they're mining for lithium in Arkansas. Yeah. Kay Webbles, Pinball, how can I make my property private property? Again, this is going to be a state by state thing and a county by county thing as to what hoops you've got to jump through. But the first place I would start is with the city tax assessor or the county tax assessor's office and ask them what you want to tell them what you're trying to do and ask them what you need to do. Kathy Acevedo, what is the most we've ever received in donations? Well, that would be this year. Because last year you guys donated, I think it was, I wrote it down here somewhere. Last year was the biggest year at that up to the point. Last year, y'all had donated $9,355. Mrs. P and I just topped it off and made it an even 10. This year so far, you guys have donated $13,364.21. So, yeah, this year is the biggest by far. I don't know. It'd be great to get to 15. We'll see if we do. Let's see. Thunder Chicken Ranch. 1,500 just for the water meter, 7,800 to drill under the road, 5,000 to drop a pole and run 300 feet of electrical cable here in Oklahoma, and that's cheap compared to here. Okay, I mean, the well in my house was 30 grand. It's just, to dig my pond was 16. So yeah, no, I mean, getting water, electric, or anything like that run out here ain't cheap. I know the feeling. Mary Maddox, how much generator power do I need to keep my 5 freezers running? You're going to have to look at your freezers, figure out how many watts they pull, and then do those calculations. I mean, I don't know if you've got a 20 cubic foot chest freezer or a 3 cubic foot chest freezer. I mean, they're going to use a different amount of electricity. And you're going to need to do some math. It's like, okay, if the kilowatt or anything like that, you need to figure out if this freezer uses 400 watts an hour, you're going to have to find out what wattage it uses. And you go, okay, if it uses 400 watts an hour, and if I get a 2,400 watt generator, that means it can run one freezer for 6 hours. So you're going to have, but where you have to start is you need to figure out how many watts that appliance is pulling per hour. Karen, I'm going to try this. Tomure, my thoughts on stacking copper rounds along with gold and silver. I've got 200 or 300 copper rounds. Okay, I mean, I was getting them for $1 and change or whatever it was, which is still a lot for the copper rounds. But I've got a couple hundred of them. They're not something that I consider overly worthwhile, but they are something that will be teeny tiny change. Okay, I mean, again, think of it. They made pennies out of copper and dimes, quarters, everything else out of silver. Okay, think about it the same way. Your copper rounds are going to be change. Okay, maybe something for a quarter. There's a copper round or something like that. That might be what it is. And again, remember, when we go into a new economy, okay, which is going to be very regional. I mean, and by regional, I mean a couple of square miles around you. It's going to be different everywhere. I may pay, again, making stuff up, a silver quarter for a gallon of water, okay? And everybody goes, well, that's not that bad. But you get 10 miles away from the lake, and they may be going, it's a silver round for a gallon of water here, however you do. Because we're not going to have that great supply chain, if you will, where anybody can get anything. I mean, Christ, you're in Michigan at this time of year, you can still buy oranges, okay? 100 years ago, you couldn't do that. How many of us can still get a pineapple, okay? You imagine, in 1923 or whatever it is, how difficult it was to get a pineapple. I mean, now, if you want a pineapple right now, run around the corner to the store, go get a pineapple, you're good. That's not going to be available anymore. There's a lot of things like that people are going to be like, oh, crap. I mean, coffee, perfect example, okay? Whatever coffee you have is the only coffee you're going to get, because there ain't going to be a whole lot of supply chain coming from Brazil to the United States going, you know what? We really want to help out those people up there by sending them coffee. Yeah, don't count on it. So, Estate Time 85, last question. If the dollar is going to collapse, why should we keep cash at home? Simple reason. We don't know when the dollar is going to collapse, and we don't even know if the dollar is going to collapse, okay? as the old saying goes, we prep for the worst, we pray for the best. We may all die and the economy never collapses. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. I keep cash at home, you know, and as things go. If the power goes out, I can pay the bills. I can buy things, whatever. That's no problem. If the economy collapses, okay, that's why I have gold and silver. Again, it's diversifying yourself so you're ready for any sort of emergency, whether it's a long-term power outage, whether it's an SHTF event, or whether it's Joe Biden getting reelected. I mean, whichever one of those three happen. So, all right, guys, it is 9 o'clock. Congratulations to the winners tonight. Make sure you send me your information, and we will see you guys tomorrow morning. Pinball out.